This song's called In Your Face. And we'll be right back with 3D In Your Face on the Will and Thunder Show. Show. That was In Your Face by 3D In Your Face. Yeah, I wonder
that deserves a lot more applause.
Yeah.
Man, God love it.
Before we dive back into it, you know, I've been working the board here, and I've also been working the, you know, putting all of the, you know, what we're talking about your links and whatnot on the Facebook show page that we did. Well, one of your adoring fans kind of busted on Sniper a little bit. Nikki Lynn Schultz. She says, 3D, great interview. That was the second time I'd ever heard Sniper say fuck.
You know what?
Sniper says fuck every time he's near a microphone.
I was going to say, she must not have been to many shows because I think I was in the Army for a few years down there in Fayetteville and Fort Bragg, and I believe every other word out of my mouth is the F-bomb, so, you know. And
that's where I live
sure.
right now. I live in Fayetteville right now.
You know what? I was reading that. I was reading a little bio on your thing, and it said Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I'm like, no way. Because I used to live on Fort Bragg, and I used to live in Spring Lake, and then on the other side, you know where Yadkin and I think Yadkin on the other street, there's a Walmart right there. I used to live right behind there in these apartments, and so I lived down. They called it Vietnam down back then because it was kind of a bunch of GI Joes there, and just it's got some good parts, got some bad parts. You know.
I heard all about that. I live on the other side of I-95, completely opposite side of the city.
Oh, so the good part. So you live in the good part. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah.
Well, anyway, first of all, before we get anything else, thank you for your service, man.
Oh, hey, no problem, man. I don't know what to say when people say that to me in the Nash or whatever. It's just something I felt like I had to do. So.
Well, and that's fantastic. I've got family members that were military. I almost joined the military, but medical issues kept me out. And it's just phenomenal, man.
I was a sniper in the 82nd, and I was in Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't want to go off too much on this. I'd rather talk about the music, but it's just something I did for a few years, and then I came out and wanted to play rock and roll guitar and grow my hair long and chase women. So.
Well, Bill, Will, do you hear that? It's a good thing you gave him a good review because he's a sniper. I'm just playing. Anyway, we love you. We really, really loved you.
Well, thanks.
Anyway.
Oh man, that song "In Your Face," I remember that from when I reviewed the album. I think that was the song where I was talking about the George Lynch, reminding me kind of George Lynch or whatever. But there's some amazing guitar work in that song.
Absolutely. When the guitar solo kicked in right there. And you talk about, hitting squeals and stuff. That's what music, I love that style of rock and roll music. And when you hit them squeals on those guitar solos and you hit them quick runs, that right there just, man, I love that. Love it, man.
You're just making my night. My head is too big to fit in my house now. You better be careful. But, I love... And
look, that little bass run right there where you're kicking by yourself, man. And then you come in with the vocals come back and the guitar scream back. That's fucking... I love the breaks like that. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. It's the breakdown. We put those in almost every one of the songs. We got to specifically sit down and go, all right, we're not going to put a breakdown in this one, just this one on the record.
Right, I love, but you love that. Those parts, especially it's another lost art is like putting a bridge in a song. It goes chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse. There's no lead-ins, there's no lead-outs. There's no little hiccups here and there. It's so blank nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And even you get the vocals and everything, the same thing. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to go, ooh, while the guitar player plays the same thing, the bass player is going to play the same thing the guitar player plays, and we'll have some drums in the background.
No, yeah, it's about putting in that little extra, that little groove, I guess you will. And being a bass player, you completely understand that,
yeah, absolutely, man. You got to be there. Yeah, you've got to be there with the drums and play with the drums. Yeah, keep your melody with your guitar player, but get a little something kicking there and let the guitar player have their fun. That's one of the great bass players that people love out there, Mr. Billy Sheehan. No, I'm not a huge fan of him because I think he's a lead guitar player with 4 strings.
I agree.
Play the bass. If you want to be a bass player, play the bass, man. Throw some funk into it. Throw a little swing into it. Play with your drums. Listen to your guitar player. Hold that shit together and let your guitar player just bring all the noise. And let them feel what you're playing. Let them feel what you're playing, man.
Winery dogs.
I love the Winery Dogs.
Don't even get me started on that. Go ahead,
okay,
rip into it.
No, I just say I agree with you. There's a time and a place for everything. And, obviously, I think one of the most underrated bass players of all time is Michael Anthony, because he had such a phenomenal rhythm section with Eddie and Alex that he was smart enough to go, I'll play E here a lot and let that guy do everything he needs to do and 3 chords. And the thing, again, about the early Van Halen I loved was the 3 chords, the rhythms, the harmonies, everything. You're just like, wow, this band has got it all. Plus, cool showman, cool guitar player. They jumped around.
Right.
But he was smart enough not to say, I'm going to tap, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, no, Ed's got it. And so you're right on that. But then there's music like Winery Dogs where you're like, hey, that's pretty cool too. But you're right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's moments everywhere. There's moments everywhere, but he is a guitar player on a bass. I mean, and you have to know that. I mean, if you're a true musician, a true bass player, if you know music, there's a line there. I mean, yes, you can have a bass solo. Look, Cliff Burke could play the meanest bass in the world. But when it came down to playing the songs, he played the bass guitar, and he played it phenomenally.
I agree.
It wasn't, I don't know. All right, my tangent on bass playing's over.
No, you can go on.
Well, another bass player that's just solid like that, not flashy, just solid, just plays with the drums to make it more punchy. Is underrated is Ian Hill from Judas Priest.
Yeah, totally agree. Yes,
he just he's just there. I mean, he's just there, and if you'd ever seen Priest in concert before the Painkiller album, I mean, sure, the rhythm section was good and everything, but after Painkiller, when they added Scott Travis to the mix, Scott Travis brought out the best in Ian Hill, in my opinion. But then again, Scott Travis
we just learned a Judas Priest song, and let me tell you, those are the funnest bass parts to play. Is the Judas Priest lines.
Which song?
What do we learn? Breaking the Law?
Breaking the what? Oh,
Break.
You're supposed to say Breaking the What?
That was good. I stepped right into that one. Stepped right into that.
That is my 4-year-old daughter's favorite song. She will just walk up to you when you're doing anything. Just play Breaking the Law.
Breaking the what?
That's awesome.
Well, and her other favorite band is Queensryche. When they released their new album with the new singer, I wore it out, and she became a huge Queensryche fan, and it drives my country bumpkin wife crazy that my daughter's growing up a metalhead.
Yes.
That's good parenting right there.
My best friend's daughter is a 3-year-old straight-up metalhead. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'll get on the phone with her and talk with her, and she'll be like, let's play Queensryche. Let's play Queensryche. It's awesome, man. I'm like, I love it. And then I've got a 12-year-old son who I raised in Florida till he was about 6. And then I moved up here to Tennessee, and now he'll listen to nothing but country music. And he thinks that
well, you see, you dropped the ball.
What I do is silly. I did. I didn't. I mean, it's the way it is. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I need to move away from Tennessee.
Yeah, you do. We both need to get the hell back to Florida. You know what? Screw that.
Right.
Let's move to Omaha.
It's a little cold up here.
No, we know. See, I know all about cold, just no snow.
God, after this winter, I think I can handle it. But
yeah,
all right,
you guys are ridiculous. Cold weather, man. I mean, that's like, what, 10, 12 inches a day?
No.
Man. It just, I guess I've been watching too much of the Weather Channel.
Hey, it's just a little windy here from time to time. It blows.
Yeah,
it's more than one.
I mean, are you guys, speaking of which, are you guys doing any traveling with the music? Are you guys going touring anywhere? Or?
I mean, we always do. We usually play. We got a residency right now where we play every Friday night in Omaha. And it's kind of like a Friday night party that happens weekly, you know. So we do that, and then on Saturdays we end up traveling out. And so once the residency is over, we start basically our summer tour where we're out Friday and Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just traveling all over the Midwest.
Well, cool. You guys ever consider coming down south a little bit?
Yeah, the bags are already packed.
Towards the, like Memphis area.
Yeah, we would love to.
There's a lot of clubs, especially Memphis. There's one club I know. I live in West Tennessee, and there's a couple decent clubs around here, man, that would love your music, man. And I'd like to get a little something from you guys, and I can pass it along to a couple guys I know and maybe get you guys down here.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. Yeah. Now, back in the day, you guys played in road bands back in the day, right? So I used to play this club. I'm trying to think of it. Is it Toy Tiger in Louisville? Does that sound familiar to you guys?
Clay Tiger. I've never been up to Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh.
We played a lot. We played a lot in Florida. I moved up to Tennessee about 6-7 years ago, and I just got in contact with a couple guys that own a couple clubs up here, and they've had big bands playing up here, like Full Devil Jacket and Fuel. I mean, but they've got a really, really, really good scene here.
Nice.
Man, we're ready to go.
We're kind of, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to get some information and some music from you guys. I'm going to pass on to these guys because I love what you do, and I think a lot of people in this area would love you guys, man.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
You know, unfortunately, I think Fayetteville's probably a little too far for you guys to go.
Well, believe it or not, I got a lot of contacts there from when I was in the Army. I've got places
there you go. That's right.
Well, you got another one.
I'm trying to think. There used to be a club. There used to be some clubs downtown. I'm trying to think of like the Husker Bar. I'm trying to think it was downtown.
There's a newer club. There's a newer club downtown, and I can't remember the name of it, and they book touring and national acts all the time. There's another one off of Bragg Boulevard called the Drunken Horse Pub, and they book the smaller touring bands. So there's two places here that
I lost. I got drunk quite a few places down around there. I'm not going to lie to you.
There's nothing wrong with a couple alcoholic beverages for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, I was hurting, so I said I better have 15 of these, you know. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm hurting every day.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to remember, I was stuck in the Army, and I had no hair. I had a lot of pain and misery. I was like, So I was like,
guess what? I'm 40 now. I'm not in the Army, but I have no hair.
You know what?
Sucks, man.
That's okay, because you know what? You can get a wig or you can do a comb over, whatever you need to do, man. Because at least you don't have to do it mandatorily. You know.
I just shave it off because there's no point in putting over Rogaine over just for men, and you can still look like a cool rock and roll guy with a bald ass head. So. Yeah,
Joe Satriani rocks it. The drummer from AC/DC rocks it. Sure. Jeff Tate's even rocking a bald head now, man.
That's why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's right.
The metal god.
Yeah.
The metal god. Rob Halford.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Nobody makes fun of him because of his gloves either.
No.
You know what? They don't make fun of him.
Or anything else for that matter.
But you got to admit, when you hear the words to some of the songs now, when you think about, like, back then you're like, oh, man, he's so cool. And now you're like, what did he mean by that phrase right there? Because you're not sure exactly what it meant, you know.
Yeah.
Now you second guess every lover.
Think about breaking the line. Oh, it's horrible.
Turbo.
Oh, my goodness.
You know.
I got to make do you care if I make a shout out real fast?
No, go ahead, man. Do what you want to do.
Cool. I just got to say, the person that I want to thank the most for this record and for helping us out. Troy Way, our sound man, has been sick the last few weeks, and we really miss him. He is the producer and the mix and master. He did pretty much everything behind the scenes on this record. So I want to give him a big shout out. I think he's listening tonight. So we haven't seen him in a few weeks, so we really miss him and hope he gets better soon.
Well, nothing but love and prayers out to him, man.
I got to say something to Troy. There, he'll know exactly what that means. He's probably listening right now.
He's the guy, we kind of went into this record going, we want to, Piper and I were like, we want it to sound like we do live. We want a rock and roll record that's raw and sounds like The Who or sounds like AC/DC, and I think he completely captured everything that we wanted for this record. So, I can't thank him enough for everything he did.
Well, he's listening right now. He's posting on the Facebook page. If you want to, Troy, call in. But for right now,
that's for all your good work, man. And you know what? I appreciate
hell of a job on that album. It sounds great. And he says he misses you guys too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I appreciate you guys wanting to do that, because there's nothing that sucks worse than having an album that you love and going to see a band live and it sounding so stripped down and unreal. You're on the radio like, oh, man, this band rocks, and all of a sudden you're like, okay. What happened to the other guitar player? What happened to the other guitar player, the keyboard, and the backup vocals? I mean, really?
The live board mix, and that's the way it sounds on the record.
See, that's awesome, man. And I really appreciate it. I saw a band from the 90s, and not a huge metal band, but a band live, which was they were a great band.
Mm-hmm.
And when they played, it sounded exactly like the record, every song. And that's what I appreciate, because I don't want to go and see a band that throws in overdubs over vocals, and then an extra guitar riff in it. I mean, because when you see them live, it's just a letdown to you right there.
Mhm.
And especially when they put dubs over vocals, that really gets you right there when the singer can't carry a fucking tune, and then they're auto tuning as they're. That makes me so mad. So that's awesome that you guys do that.
I hate auto-tune. I think that whoever invented that needs to be put into an Iron Maiden and dropped into a river.
Or drawn and quartered, either way. It's just ridiculous.
I'd rather suck being me than lie and with the auto-tune. Sorry, that's just me.
Exactly.
Well, what auto-tune does is it makes everybody that uses it sound identical. You can't tell the difference between Britney Spears and the Black Eyed Peas. They all sound exactly the same.
I wouldn't know, because I don't listen to those bands there, Cupcake.
I watch Super Bowls.
That was a nice comeback. That was pretty good right there. I must say.
Thank you very much.
You earned your man card back on that one.
As soon as I was started saying that, I was just like, somebody's gonna burn me on that one.
If you make one reference to One Direction or something, you lose it again. I'm just telling you right now. No Justin Bieber or One Direction. I'm going to call you out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they've never played at the Super Bowl. All right, on that note, let's get into the Spinal Tap moments. It's perfect because we started off the show with a major Spinal Tap moment. But I just made a little intro for this little segment. Hope you like it. Whoops, shit, wrong one.
Spinal Tap.
That's the intro, just the wrong intro. Here we go.
You're a white guy. He's nothing but a white guy.
Good conference, huh?
Big lot of night.
Spinal Tap, check. What's wrong with being sexy? died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Dozens of people spontaneously combust each year.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
Hey, it works.
Oh, that was awesome.
So, Spinal Tap moments. Let's hear them.
Spade, you go first, because I got one. Spade, you go first.
All right, cool. I have a couple, and I'll make them quick so you can get to yours. I have one that just happened to me today, actually. One of our photographers, actually Nikki, who just commented on the post earlier, she asked me to send. She's a photographer, and she took a whole bunch of pictures of it. She's like, send me your top 5 pictures for. I'm doing a compilation. I need them for promotional purposes. I'm like, all right, no problem. Now, as I was looking through my pictures on my computer, I came across this picture of 2 guys docking. Now, do you know what that is? It's like spaceship docking, right?
What is it?
Okay, well, my buddy thought it'd be a big prank to put this picture of 2 guys docking on my background as my.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of like the space station docking thing, and it's not a good picture there.
Right,
no,
right.
It's really not.
It's not good.
Nice.
And so I didn't realize I was like attaching this picture to her Facebook until I clicked on the picture and it sent it directly right there. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So this picture of 2 guys' penises at 2:30 in the morning straight to her Facebook page.
There's always extracurricular activities there.
And not just to her email, but on Facebook?
Well, it was to her, like, Facebook messages, but...
Okay, well, that's good. So, I mean, at least it was contained a little bit.
Yeah, so the first thing she wakes up to in the morning, 2 guys docking.
Nice.
Wonderful.
That's
good friend.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's definitely. I think that's above and beyond Spinal Tap moment right there. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, obviously it's not me. I don't know. Don't take this the wrong way, but
you do realize that that's blackmail material, because I mean,
yeah,
you're done like
taken a screenshot. She could have taken a screenshot of it, showing that it came from you, and
oh yeah, she could have. Well, to be honest, she couldn't.
Inquirer, here we come.
The skin was a little darker, if you get my drift.
Gotcha.
Lord.
Well, Jeff Tate claims that he's black from the waist down.
Well, handful in the sack.
Oh, mercy.
Easy.
Really? Did we really just take that turn? Did we really just take that turn? Okay. That was awesome. Anyway, Omaha. Speaking of Omaha, didn't Peyton Manning call that the whole time during the Super Bowl? Anyway, God bless America. Wow. Next moment. I love it.
Let's hear your other one, Spade. I hope it's not no weird gay porn thing either. I want to hear something funny.
So it's not every time I close my computer, there's just on the background. I still haven't taken it off my computer. I don't know why, but second one, the new album, Midnight Devils. This is my first big album that I've ever done with 3D and
that's the one I was
full-length album.
That is the one I was going to do.
Okay, you take it, buddy.
No, you do it, man. You do it. I just that's the one I was going to do. But go ahead.
All right. And so we spent hard blood, sweat, tears. We worked on this thing for 2 years straight. And every waking moment we're thinking about writing this album, getting it out. We finally got to the day that it was supposed to ship, and the company shipped 1,000 CDs to us, and we're freaking out. We're like, oh, this is the most amazing day of our lives. This is going to change everything. We open up the box, and the album looks amazing, and we're staring at it, and we're like, yeah, we are the coolest people in the world. And then I take it to rehearsal, and the guys are like,
Spade, hold on. You didn't tell me how you oogled and ogled out it for like 2 hours of just looking at the cover and going, man, I'm going to be famous. Oh boy, at the shop, and you never broke the plastic to actually pull the CD out, correct?
No, we actually opened it. We were looking at it there at the shop. Troy and I were just like, it's so cool. And so I take it to rehearsal, and the boys are like, did anybody put the CD in to see what it sounds like? And this is the day before our album launch, our release. And like, why would I put it in? We listen to these songs 100,000 times, and it's not a big deal. So like, well, just put it in just to make sure. So they put it in the CD player, and country music starts coming out. And I'm like, there's got to be some sort of mistake here. You got the disc in wrong. So we open up another one and put another one in there, and it's country music. The record company sent us.
It said 3D in your face, but it was country?
Yeah, they sent us 1,000 CDs wrapped in plastic with another band's music on the actual disc, and it was a country band, a 5-song demo of a country band the day before our album was released.
Oh, God.
So we were freaking out. We're like, what do we do? Nobody knew what to do and how to fix this, and luckily they printed off 100 copies in Omaha that we could sell to our fans until they shipped all 1,000 back, and then we got 1,000 back in that were our original CDs. So somewhere out there floating around are 3D in your face discs with country music on them.
Well, you know what? When you guys make it huge, those right there will sell at auction for God knows how much money.
Actually,
it's just
the funniest part for me was I told the guys, I'm like, think about the country dude that's got his fucking disc, and he puts it on his Forbidden City right off the bat. He's like, what the hell is this? That's when I started crying, laughing so hard. It was so spinal tap. I couldn't do anything but laugh, thinking about Gary and the Playboys. Hey, man, here's a theme song from Garth Brooks. They put it on. It was like Forbidden City, and the guitar just ripping their face off, and they're like, what the hell's going on here, man? You know, and I just didn't know.
They're sitting in Nashville handing these things out to promoters left and right. It's like, yeah, check this out. We want to play in your club next weekend.
So that made it okay for me. I just started laughing. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I just thought it was hilarious.
That's awesome right there. You know, and I didn't even look at the other side of that right there. That right there, that's funny right there. I mean, I could just see the people in Nashville right now, because I live around these people now. I mean, I'm from Florida, and I'm in the middle of Tennessee now. And the thought process is totally different. But for them to get a hair metal band when they think they're going to hear some Garth Brooks,
right?
That is funnier than you even know right there. Because I can see the expression on their face right now.
What?
Yeah,
they'd be like, what the hell?
Oh, I mean, you know how the first song is on the CD, right? It's just like, it's really, and the first thing goes, bling, 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 bling. It's all this clean guitar, and I'm like, what's that? That's not me playing. What is this? You know, and just the thought of Fred Smith and the Flecktones listening to our metal record just made me smile. I think a tear of joy came out. I started thinking about it more and more. Me and the drummer, Playboy, just started cracking up. Spade was in like deer in the headlights, shock, like, what are we going to do? And we're like, oh, it don't matter. We don't care. You know, whatever. We're laughing about that. Hot Rod took all the problems, made a couple phone calls. And so he's talking to the guy that did the record producing or the burned them, and we're like, hey, was the guy smoking pot when he did these, or what's going on exactly here? Because something's a little wrong here, you know. He's like, well, I've been doing this for years, never had that problem, and we're like, well, you do now. So
put that on your resume, Cupcake.
Yeah, we're like,
you got thousands of pieces of crap.
You know what would have been even funnier? It would have been even funnier if it had been like a band like, I don't know, Garth Brooks.
You can't go any further than that. Hair metal the country?
No, Garth Brooks and Metallica, like two super names, and they sent out.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it would have happened to like oh man, look, can you imagine go to the record store and be like, oh yeah, let me get that Metallica album right there, and get in your car and be like, looking back, what the fuck is that?
Well, then
I read the review that Saint Anger really sucked, but I wasn't expecting this.
Wow. Then we started thinking, what if we would hand these up to the fans without listening to them? You know, with like how many they have been. They're like, what the fudge is this? You know, we're like, Oh yeah, it's our other. It's all.
This is not what I've been listening to for the last couple of months. I've been watching this band. I followed them around for 6 months for this. Really?
Yeah.
And you guys have your own artwork on a CD and all that. That's the beauty of the thing. I mean, the artwork and everything's the same. It'd be different if you opened up the package and the artwork on the CD said Joe Bob, Billy Bob. But no, it still said "Pretty in your face." That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest Spinal Tap moments of all time. You can't. I mean, that's going to be hard to beat right there.
There really is nothing more.
None blacker.
None blacker. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good stuff. That's what I was going to do.
I got a good one.
Oh, let me hear it.
I got one for you, Sniper, and I'll just intro this one. You can pretty much take it where I leave it. We got booked to play this outdoor show, a small community. We do a lot of private parties all over the country, and these people hired us for their beach party, right?
Oh.
So we drive a big tour bus. So we had to drive this tour bus into this beach community, basically, and we pulled up, and it's 110 degrees, and they're like, all right, here's your stage, boys, and it's like a one trailer set up on sand, like on the beach, and it's leveled off by like planks of wood. So we had to carry. The day started off bad.
Planks of wood. It was like tree trunks that they had cut, and they were like stacked up like a rock, and then a tree trunk, and so you walked on the stage. You walked on whatever it was. It wasn't a stage. It was some sort of trailer, but you walked on
tractor trailer, like flatbed tractor trailer.
It wasn't even that big. It was like a hay rack. I mean, it was small. It was small.
And I'm like, carry all our amps through the sand.
Oh, we drug them, and we're like, it was like a beach, so we couldn't wheel anything. Everything we had was on wheels, except for we had to carry everything. And it's like 110. It's August. We're all like dehydrated. We played the night before and like 3 hours away, and it was kind of like a pickup tape to get gas money. What was the name of that little? It was someone's like 50th birthday or something. And they wanted to hear hair metal, so they hired us, and we stopped. It was like a pickup date for gas money, basically.
What state was it in?
Oh, in Nebraska.
It was in Nebraska, and it was.
So when you said beach, I'm thinking.
Humid here.
When you said beach, I'm thinking. I was thinking like maybe you guys went down to Louisiana or something.
No, that would have been cool, but I wouldn't have bitched at all. This was like pond in the middle of Nebraska. Is basically what it was. With sand around is what it kind of was, and it was super hot. Everybody's getting all burnt and toasty and pissed off. And at one point, I remember I was just like, do we stack some pine cones or something under here to keep this thing from fucking rocking? And so we got it all kind of situated. We got all the gear, and at one song, I have this huge amp. I have like a regular, like two 412s and a head on top, full stack.
Right.
And we at one song, the singer's like, hey, let's bring all the ladies up on stage. And I got this, deer in the headlights, no, because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. In this particular town, there were no skinny chicks. There were not any skinny chicks at all. Okay? And so I'm flipping out like, what? No. And so for Motley Crue song, Girls, 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 he has all these ladies come up on stage and dance, right? I'm looking at Spade, and my amp is rocking 2 feet in both directions. And I'm just like, whoa! And so I'm trying to hold my amp in place.
And you're thinking, unskinny bop and nothing more to say.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, my amp is going to take a tumble. I'm going to be freaking out. So I'm trying to play the song. We're trying to hold my amp, and I mean, we were debating using my amp cases as flotation devices because I thought we were going in the pond for sure. Spade's laughing, I'm laughing. It was just a disaster, but it was a long night. And then at loadout, of course, you're all tired and pissed off, and then now it's like nighttime. It's 90. It's humid. And you're dragging shit through the sand again. With the one pole light, you can't see. There's only one light, like 30 feet clear down the beach with this little bulb. And so we're doing everything by moonlight, trying to make sure we didn't leave anything. That was a disaster. That was a fiasco. Another Hello Cleveland moment.
Hello Cleveland.
We had a moment one time. Hold on. We had a moment one time when we first started playing, back when we were 14, 15 years old. We were playing this venue, and our drummer, watching these big metal bands, decided to make a drum cage out of PVC. Well, the drum riser that they made for him was 2, lunchroom tables.
Oh, my God.
So you know how sturdy that is. Well, we get to about the third song, and the drum kit is dancing on this 2 tables drum riser and slowly moving to the right. And the PVC starts falling apart. Well, in the middle of our third song, we're 15 years old here. Don't have 2 nickels to rub together. The other band that was playing had a brand new $1,500 Ovation guitar, acoustic electric. This is back in the late 80s, early 90s. And half of the drum kit falls over off the drum riser. And one of the spindles for the cymbals puts a hole in the guitar. I mean, just a straight line through it. Well, I'm playing bass, and the drums are behind me. Next thing I know, there's no drums. The vocals stop, and then the guitar stops. I'm still playing. I stop. I turn around, and I look and see the drummer standing there, or sitting there on his drum stool with this look on his face like, oh, my goodness. And I look and see half his drum kit on top of this guitar.
Well,
it was like a disaster.
When all of a sudden I heard him stop. I heard him stop playing the drums, and I turned around, and give the come on signal.
Come on.
Like come on. I did. Come on. I turned back around, and I stopped. I'm like, slowly turned back around. Like, what the hell did I just see?
Oh.
And sure enough, I mean, the whole thing that, from start to finish was probably took maybe 3 or 4 seconds, but it seemed like it was dragging on for like an eternity.
Like an hour and a half,
that
man.
guitar was toast.
Oh.
Was the band pissed?
No, actually, there were some older guys, and they were really cool about the whole thing, and thank goodness, man. And they knew that we were young and everything, but God bless America. It's that moment. And as I said, we were 14, 15 years old, and we're like, okay, that's it. We're done like dinner. That's bad. Yeah. I mean, the whole kit. I mean, the whole right side of his kit just fell off. Like it was nothing. Oh. It was horrible. Other time, same drummer. And he is a phenomenal drummer. I'll tell you what, he's just ridiculous good. Great drummer. He still plays to this day. But we were playing a show, and we were probably, 6, 7 songs into the set, and he went to hit his crash cymbal, and when he did, he caught his knuckle on the cymbal instead of his drumstick, and so he let go of his drumstick, and it slid straight across the cymbal and hit our singer square in the back of the head. And he about swallowed the microphone right there. It's about the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it's a good thing that we weren't in bands together when I was in Nashville.
You want to go ahead and tell that story?
I got to. It's funny.
Yeah. You guys are gonna love this one.
And they'll know they probably know what pleather is too.
Yeah.
Well, I started playing. I started wearing pleather because my guitar player he wanted me to start wearing pleather. We weren't glam or anything like that. We were metal. But the guitar player wanted us both to wear pleather. But finally, reluctantly, I started doing it. And after about the second time that I did it, I started going out there commando because you sweat like a mother, and when you're wearing that crap. So it's nice to have something dry to change into when you're done. So I'm up there doing this thing, and I get to this guitar solo, and I didn't know this, but the front the front crotch area had ripped, and I dropped down on my knees and started wailing on the guitar solo and leaned, arched my back backward, and I'm just hanging out there for all to see.
You were literally rocking out with your cock out. That's what
I literally
absolutely.
Now, and I didn't even really.
I've got to ask you. You did not feel the degree difference when it popped out or nothing? I mean, it would seem like there would be like a huge degree difference from.
That's what I was thinking right there, man.
The place that we were playing at, it was a huge rock and metal club, and their stage setup was an exact replica of the Motley Crue Theater of Pain Tour stage, with the exception of the rising drum kit. I mean, they had the lights were identical, the tiers on the stage were identical. It was probably a good 120 to 130 degrees up there. So no, I didn't notice.
Now, did the ladies like it?
Huh?
Now, did the ladies like it? That's really what counts in the whole.
I did get laid that night.
Oh, well, perfect.
See, the win-win.
Success. To see right now. Success.
Good show.
I didn't
And all the guys
notice it.
instantaneously turn around during your guitar solo. Okay, didn't need to see that. I didn't pay for that tonight.
Well, the other guitar player, I was a singer / guitar player. The other guitar player, he's like noticed, like motioning down toward his groin area and pointing at me, and I kind of looked down. I was like, oh shit! So I turned my back and I, between songs, lowered the guitar strap down to where it looked like a grunge player. Just lowered it down to where the guitar covered me. And finished the song. Didn't move around very much though.
Duct tape.
But there were some girls that like ran to the front of the stage when I did that.
Well, you should have left your guitar. Should have left your guitar in place and been like, "Hey, what you doing now?"
Yeah, I could have had one of those orgies.
Jenna Torture's Guar moments right there.
It sounds like a win to me. That doesn't matter. It's a win.
It doesn't. Look, that's right. That's right. You threw the bait out there and somebody bought. So there you go.
That's awesome.
We've got a pun alert on the Facebook page here. Jenny Glessner Jenkins. She says, "Wow, that's nuts."
Literally nuts. Wow. You gotta love it. And now you know via radio.
Speaking of radio, there, Spade, you have your own radio show, don't you?
Yeah, I have a show out of Omaha, broadcasting on 1019 The Big O. It's called Hair in the Air. It's basically a hair metal radio show. I get 2 hours every Saturday night to play the hits from the 80s, the stuff. I'm a real big fan of Dee Snider's, and I went to school for radio. It was kind of what I wanted to do, and I got lucky enough to get my own show, and it's been a blast hanging out.
Well, you can't go wrong with Twisted Sister, man. I mean, Dee Snider, man. You got to love it, man. I mean, that's kind of where, it really, really came from right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
You went to school for broadcasting?
Yeah, I went to the University of Nebraska here for broadcasting. Basically, it was like, you're at that point when you're 18, and my dad's like, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, well, I want to rock with your life. I want to rock, but I have to go to college, so what can you do in college where you just get to listen to music? I want to be a radio DJ. And, $20,000 later, I got a little certificate that says you are now a bachelor's degree in broadcasting.
That's actually, I'd love to do that now. I'm 40 years old, and it's, it was my dream to be a musician, but I know I'm 40 years old. I understand the age limits to things. I mean, there's no age limits really, but I mean, this is one way that I can stay in loop with music right here, talking to people like you, and this is what I love to do. And I have the voice for it, and I have to get to Gab. I've been a bartender for 20 years.
Hey, you do got a good radio voice.
Well, thank you very much. I actually face for radio, too.
I was told I have a face for radio. What's the deal with that? I don't really understand what that means.
I get the same thing all the time. I got a face and a voice for radio. Anyway, that means I'll never make it on TV, which I don't care. But anyway.
Hey, we're probably gonna go over by a few minutes here. No problem. But for those of you who are listening online, you're going to lose us in a few minutes. However, as soon as we get done, everything will be up on the archive, and the archive will be on this page, the Facebook page and whatnot. So when we go away, no big deal. You'll be able to check it out later on this evening or tomorrow or whenever, a year from now, whatever.
Nice.
But if you want to hear the rest of it, it's probably it could be 5 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, who knows. But if you want to call in, you'll be able to hear the whole thing live, and listen to it on the phone. That number is 646 716-6135. If you want to hear us,
and the one great thing is, go ahead.
In about 90 seconds, we're going to go. The show is going to go off the air. So if you want to go ahead and call in, You'll be able to hear us till we're done. Like I said, 5 minutes. Could be 5 minutes. Could be 30 minutes. We're having a good time. So I've got no problem with going a little bit further.
Yeah.
You guys?
Me neither.
No, not at all. See, that's what makes a good interview. When you get to the end of the show and look, man, we're not done talking. You guys have been great guests, man. We love you and appreciate it. We love this, man.
It's like we've known each other our whole lives, because it's all the same. It's like talking music is just, it's so, it's like it brings us together, and it's like you just feel like you've known you your whole life, because we have the same common interest with the music and everything. It's weird. I don't want to sound weird or corny, but you know what I'm saying?
No, but and it is. You know what? Music, as someone told me a long time ago, music is what emotion sounds like.
Totally, yes.
And if you're a musician and you make music, you can totally understand that. I mean, with every song that you've ever written, there's something behind that. There's a meaning, there's a story. You don't have to be a lyricist or a vocalist to convey a thought. And it's what I love so much about music. It's what I've always loved about it. I started when I was in the 4th grade, and I played everything from the trombone, French horn, baritone, and then when I got into high school, started playing rock music. But music has always been a part of my life. Man, I mean, it's unbelievable. There's no other escape like it. You can go out there and you can do drugs, you can drink, you can do whatever. But if you pick up an instrument and you study it and learn it, there's nothing better than to sit with a bunch of people and play some music, or to sit by yourself and play some music. It's therapeutic either way. And it's just the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah, if it wasn't for music, I'd probably on tall rooftops with rifles, to be honest with you, because I just love the power of a rockin' G chord through a blazing martial ant. You're like, wow, and it rips your face off, and you're like, I feel better already.
Oh, absolutely.
You
can talk to Will there. I had the most amazing cabinet ever when we were playing back in the day. And I had, now it weighed 400 pounds. This thing must have been made in the 70s. It was an old, you remember the old custom PAs?
Oh, yeah.
And speakers? Totally. This was an old custom from the 70s. It was actually like pleather and had buttons on it like a couch.
You're not going to believe this. I have that exact same one in my back room right now, my guitar room. I bought it off this old country dude for it's got 2 15s in it and weighs.
Yeah.
These
weighs 400 pounds. It's got wheels on the back and 2 handles.
Yeah, totally.
The best cabinet ever. I played a little PV head unit through it and got the best sound out of that thing. I actually, when I bought it, I had an old Toyota Celica, 85 Celica. And I tied it to my roof and dented my roof, bringing it home.
Well, during those times, I was the one with the truck, and you know what that means. I'm the guy that has
hey, come get my fish rig, man. Yeah.
So we played a show, and a lot of the times I would leave the sometimes I would leave the gear chained into the car or chained into the back of my truck. Other times I wouldn't. I never had to carry the drums, but
you're lucky.
But one time there was rain in the forecast, so I was carrying the equipment in after the show, and of course everybody had to be up the next morning. So I was carrying the equipment. I didn't feel like going back to the band room, so I just took it to my house. And the next day, when we were coming back in to load the stuff in, I always put his cabinet in first. And I'm up in the bed of the truck, and I'm grabbing that thing, and I'm pulling it up, and I slip. Like right as the wheels came over the tailgate, I slipped, and that fucking thing fell on top of me. and I could not move. I was
life alert.
Ow. Ow.
But it sounded good though, didn't it? And I can't believe that you actually have one, because I've never met anybody else who actually had one of those. It was the greatest thing ever, man. It had 2 rear-facing 15s. Oh, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, Spade, you remember that when you came over and you played through it that one day in my front room? That's the amp I'm talking about. It was like, I'm like, hold on. It's like
4.5 feet tall.
It's
got
huge.
the fucking roll vinyl.
Yeah, it's like it's
exactly.
It looks like a fucking couch. Yeah.
It does. It looks just like. Oh man, God bless it. I miss it already.
True story, man. My mom goes, hey, do you want to buy an amp? And I'm like, what? She goes, a friend of mine was in the country, man. She's moving to Florida. She doesn't want to move it. She wants to know what you give her for it. And I'm like, it's like $50 or something like that. She said you take whatever you offer. And I'm like, damn it, I should have said $10, But my intent was to sell it, But I'm like, no one will ever buy this. So me and Spade write songs on it, I mean, he brings his bass over, and I got a little head we use for him, and I use my rig, and we write songs in my living room with it. So it's just so ginormous.
And it takes up so much space, dude. I'm only 5'6", so this thing was like as tall as I am. I'm like, oh, I love it, man.
It was like Stonehenge. It's just like this giant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it takes 4 people to load it in the truck, Yeah, imagine that. Okay, now you know exactly what it looks like. You remember those old 85 Toyota Celicas, the ones that were kind of boxy looking?
Yeah, sure do.
Imagine that driving down the road with that on the roof.
Yeah,
it was awesome, man.
Tied on or taped on, or what? You just put it on the roof?
I tied it down with some twine or something. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Twine. It stayed there, thank goodness.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My first show ever. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, my first show ever. I was the guy with the truck, right? I actually had a 59 Ford station wagon that I hauled all the band gear in. Same thing with the bass rig. I put the bass rig in the car, and we're driving home, and we're like, great show, and I take a turn, and the bass rig falls over and busts out the window of my car. So I had to go to my dad the next morning and be like, Dad, I broke my window playing in a rock and roll band, and he was so mad. I've never seen my dad so mad.
Did he say, did you check the oil? I mean, what did he say?
He's like,
speaking of station wagons, I had a 1983 or whatever Chevelle station wagon with like a 350 motor in it.
Oh my God!
And it was the ugliest green color you've ever seen. But that was my car, and it was fast, whatever. Well, one night we were practicing about 120 miles away from where we lived in Melbourne at the time. This is where our other guitar player had his, space to practice. So that's fine, no big deal.
He was about
I'm on
50
the interstate.
Still.
Whatever, 50 miles. We're on the interstate in between 2 exits, and there's like 20 miles in between these 2 exits. I'm with my drummer in the car. We're loaded up, man, and I'm cruising home, and next thing you know, I run out of gas in the middle of fucking nowhere.
The drummer.
I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, whatever, man. All right, look. So I hitchhike a ride with a fucking truck driver.
Jeez.
To go up to the next exit, and I call Will right here. I'm like, man, you got to come get me some gas, Unbeknownst to me, my drummer the night before watched this thing on, like, biography channel about serial killers, and I left him in the car on the middle of the road in the middle of nowhere for like 2 hours. And he's like, man, this is bullshit, man. I finally got back there. And he's like, man, look, I swear to you.
He was a very superstitious. He was a very superstitious black guy, too.
Oh, it was so funny. Man, I'm just driving along the interstate, and all of a sudden it's like, and then me, like an idiot, I didn't even care. I just threw my thumb out, and first truck that stopped, I'm like, all right, I'm going to hop in this 18-wheeler. We're good to go. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, we're all still here, which is a good thing, but it could have ended badly.
Why were you walking funny that next day?
Do what? Oh, you got jokes? You got jokes? I thought this was our radio show. I didn't know this was an HBO show for the funny guy.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
You on the Tonight Show next week?
Nah.
Cypher says the Chuckle Hut. He'll be there all week.
Chuckle Hut all week. Yeah. You know, I remember one time we were traveling in me and Hot Rod were in another band. This is like 1987, and we were like way like in Wyoming, and this bus we were traveling this zebra, white and black painted zebra bus, and the engine blew up, and so we're like all sitting around like this going, what are we gonna do? And so I catch a ride with this guy. Like, and I'm on the same thing, and so he takes me to this small town, and I look through the phone book, and I get a tow truck. I'm like, okay, I'm at Choose Chop Suey here, man. Come get me, and I'll show you where the bus is and everything. And the dude was like the dude from Sling Blade. And I'm like, oh, God. And so I had to ride like 25 minutes.
I like an airplane with him,
yeah. And he's like, and it was like quietest 25 minutes over. I'm just like, turn left, go straight. And
please, God, get me out of this.
So I was so scared of this dude. Here I'm like 19 years old. And I'm just like, oh, my Lord, what have I got into, you know? And he's like, well, he's talking. I couldn't understand anything he was saying. Like a red, you know, just like that Cajun. Yeah, I was just like,
where are you going, boy?
Asking me
I need to take a left, not take a right.
He gets the bus hooked up, and I made Hot Rod get in the truck. I'm like, dude, I am not riding back with him. I'm riding the bus. And the guy's like, it's illegal for you to ride in the bus while it's being towed. You guys got to hide. We're like, yeah, I'll lay in my bunk. I don't care. So, like, they took us to the bar. They parked the bus, like, at the loading door so we could unload at least. And he charged like $300 for this tour. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know. And I'm like, what are we going to do? We have to pay the guy who's, like, in cahoots with the sheriff or whatever. But this dude was like, I was, like, in the same boat going, Sling Blade's giving me a ride to the fucking bar. This is great, man. Yeah, he was a spook, man. His name tag, no shit, says Snitty. And I was just like this. There's really people named Snitty? S-N-I-T-T-Y.
Hey, look, man. I live in West Tennessee right now, and I told you I'm from Florida. There's a lot of things that I don't believe anymore. I mean, it totally blows my mind. The way they talk, some of the words they say. Yeah. Look, man, I used to watch Dukes of Hazzard and be like, oh, yeah, this is all theatrical. No, it's not. No, there's people like that out there.
Oh man! Speaking of,
you
know, the first time I the first time I ever went to Tennessee, I was like 19 years old or so. Now, we lived in Brevard County, which is where they launched the space shuttle from.
And Orlando is where Mickey Mouse is from, and yeah, I mean,
that's Orange County, and that's relevant to my story.
I understand, but I mean, it's
this old man. He walks up to me and he says, "Now this is up in the mountains of East Tennessee, the Smokies," and he walks up to me. He says, "Brevard, oh, where's that?" What part of Florida is that from? I said, that's right on the East Coast where they launched the space shuttle from. He says, no, they launched the space shuttle in Orange County. I said, no, they don't. He says, you sure about that? I'm like, yeah, pretty sure. I'm born and raised there. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's Orange County. I said, no. I said, it's Brevard County, Merritt Island, Florida. That's Brevard County. And he was just this guy was so convinced that he was right and I was wrong. And the whole time he was saying some words that I'd never heard before. Like, and I'm drawing a blank now as to what they were. But, I mean, it was surreal.
Did he say that
like, this guy's so bone. Huh?
Did he say, "Splain? Let me explain something to you"? And you're like, "Splain?"
Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah. He did say something like, "I'm going to explain to you how I know I'm right because he had, his grandfather lived there or something, whatever. Like his grandfather went down there on a sightseeing thing where they saw Mickey Mouse or whatever."
Well, it's so bad around here that, I mean, cops will pull you over and be like, you got any ID? And most people say, about what? There's towns around where I live that you realize, that the toothbrush was invented there because if it was invented anywhere else, it would be called the teeth brush. I mean, look, you have no idea here.
Actually,
I live in the middle of nowhere. Look, I come from Florida where there's swimming pools, and around swimming pools you've got banana trees and palm trees. Next to my little above-ground swimming pool I've got a cornfield. It's a totally different feel, I'm telling you. I've tried to make it feel like home. Really?
I was
exactly.
And I stopped in Paducah, Kentucky, right? I go, hey, man. I go, how far is Nashville from here? And this guy pumping gas next to me goes, Nashville, Kentucky? And I go, yeah, Nashville, Kentucky, dude. It's the capital of the world, And he's like, I don't get out of Paducah too much. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So I go to the gas station inside, and I go, how far is Nashville? I'm like, an hour and a half down the road. I'm like, thank you very much. It's like...
Same thing. When I first moved up here, all right, now I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. That's what I do for a living. I love music and everything, but I work in the restaurant business. I've been a bartender and, bar manager, whatever, my whole life. Well, when I move up here to Tennessee to these small little town, I mean, there's no restaurant. You have a little cafe here and a cafe there where you can go get some mashed potatoes and a country fried steak, but it's not a restaurant where I'm going to go make money at. So I got a job as a butcher in a grocery store. My second day in there, this guy comes up to me. I'm halfway through my day. He's like, what do you like? I said, what do you mean, what do I like? He goes, what do you like? What the fuck I mean, I like a lot of things. I like girls. I like movies. I like popcorn. What are you talking about? What do I like? He goes, no, what do you like? What else you got to do? I mean, what do I lack? There's an A there, not an I. Lack. What else do I have to do here? Hell are you talking about? 2 days later, I swear to God, 2 days later, I got a piece of meat out of the freezer. We're cutting it. It's got a little smell to it. And he's like, that's right. So what did you just say? Is there a pig here? He's like, that's right. I said, listen, man, I'm from Florida, man. You got to talk to... Is it ruined? Is it bad? Yes, that I know. But "rick" sounds like a step that I stepped on that doesn't have any nails in it. The hell are you talking about here?
I'm wondering.
They're like, that's right. I'm like, look here.
Fayetteville here is the second, military army town that I've lived in. I lived in Clarksville, Tennessee for a while, which of course is where Fort Campbell is.
Fort Campbell out there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about the base right there in South Carolina?
No, that's Shaw Air Force Base. That's a tiny little Air Force base. I mean, about 50
They flew
Air
planes
Force
there
bases.
all the time.
Well, they were F-16s. It was an F-16 base, yeah.
Right. But that doesn't count?
Well, let's just say that about 50 or 60 Air Force bases would probably fit on Campbell, and Fort Bragg is considerably bigger than Campbell.
Okay, yeah. I understand it. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
But anyway, when I lived there, I mean, I started hanging with the, meeting people and everything, and I ran into more boneheaded people like that old guy that I talked to. This was not too long after they got the Tennessee Titans, which of course used to be the Houston Oilers. Do you guys follow football at all?
I do somewhat.
Well, Sniper does.
Okay. Well,
now, question real quick before you go to your story. Omaha, Nebraska. No big team right around there. Who do you guys like?
Okay, I have two teams. I'll explain it to you thusly. NFC, Minnesota Vikings. AFC, Chiefs. That's because the Chiefs are like 3 hours away and the Vikings are like 7 hours away.
Okay, understood.
I have the Dolphins, which are my main team, and I also I've actually been a fan of the Carolina Panthers for an NFC team for a long time.
I don't mind the Panthers. I like the Dolphins. The teams I just don't like certain teams. But I won't get up on your story. But you were saying.
Go ahead.
Well,
break on out here.
These people are boneheaded. I mean, they're like, you'd be watching a football game on TV, at a bar or whatever. I've been a Houston Oilers fan for a long time. I was Oilers fan like long before they moved to Tennessee. Like, oh really? Who was the first black quarterback? Oh, Steve McNair. Wrong. That would be Warren Moon.
Thank you very much.
I remember him. Oh, remember, he must not have played for him too long. Nah, yeah, you're right. Only about 12 years. Another one. They all were just afraid to say, yeah, I didn't really care about the NFL too much until the Titans came here. And you know what? I'd have more respect for you if you said that. You know what I mean? But I had another guy. He's like, he says, well, yeah. Always been an Oilers fan. Okay, well, we Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell, ain't that the guy they named Fort Campbell after? Yeah. That was him. He ran real fast, didn't he? But, so Thunder, you've lived there longer than I have. I've lived there twice, but I think you've probably lived there longer than I have collectively.
Yes, I've been here almost, I guess, almost 8 years now. God bless America.
Yeah, I think
made it
collectively,
this long, I don't know.
So 2 times combined, it was like 3 years and 3 years. So yeah, you've got me beat. Are they all like that there? I mean, just boneheaded and afraid to admit that they're wrong or whatever?
Not everybody. I mean, you've got a lot of people here that are, have some open views and everything, but it's really a different world where I live out here. This is where they call the Deep South or the
buckle at the
Southwest. Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different world here. But you know what? The music scene is awesome here. I mean, in the last 6 months, I started traveling about an hour from where I live to where I work now, and there's a club right behind me that is really big into music, and that's what I'm going to try and hook you guys up with. There's another club about 10 minutes away from where I work, and they both do pretty good-sized bands from Nashville and Memphis, because I'm right there in the middle of them. And I would love you guys to come down here, because first of all, I'd love to see you guys live. First, I saw that picture, as I said in the beginning when I was just talking to your bass player. The picture you guys have with the overhead, I love the look, man. That's so tried and true.
You know what?
To that kind of music.
Spade deserves all the credit on that, because that was his brilliant idea. He had all these ideas, and our guitar tech, Chappie, Jason Husak, I don't know if he's listening or not, but he's a photographer as well, and so he's also me and Spade's guitar tech. But Spade had this idea where above us looking up, and Sam deserves all the credit because it turned out really cool.
You know what that reminds me of so much? It reminds me of old school Twisted Sister. I don't know what it was, but when I saw you guys looking up like that, it just reminded me of that vision of I Want to Rock when they're standing on that ledge right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the reverse of that, but I mean, I love that. And I love the look of all you guys right there.
I think the funniest thing that, and you guys don't get to see this, but Sniper, you'll know, is Jason actually, we brought in a crane to film or to take that picture, So this crane operator shows up in the middle of this parking lot on a Saturday afternoon, and there's
like he's gonna do construction
there's like
work.
30 people dressed in neon, and all these guys wearing makeup, and a big piece of white plastic on the ground. And we're like, all right, buddy, you're gonna have to fly up there with our photographer and take this picture. And I would say it was the easiest picture to take.
And you're in Omaha, Nebraska, and he's like, all right, boys, I'm here. What do I got to do right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, were you going to raise the camera and take pictures of these guys that look like girls, all right?
Actually, Spade had made a casting call and said, hey, we're going to be doing this photo shoot, so if you want to show up. What he didn't tell you was it was like, we played the night before, and every single dude, except for Sam, I'll give you credit for this one, but everybody was just like owly and grouchy and sleepy and pissed off, and Sam was the only one positive. Come on, guys, we can do this. And I'm just like, shut up, and I'm all tired. And Sam's like, we can do this. And we're all looking up, and even Sam kind of got like a little bit, we're looking into the sun. We're like, all right, we're burning, And we did like 5 shots, and then finally we got it. We're like, oh, my God, I'm dying. And then we went inside and did some different shots, but it was Spade totally nailed it. That was a totally cool idea. That's all it is.
Well, now I have a quick question. You took college courses to become a radio DJ.
Yeah, correct.
And, phenomenal job. I mean, it's the most fun you could ever have, especially you have the opportunity to play some of the music that you really love and you can throw out there.
Yep.
I have a question for you real quick. I'm going to put you on the spot. How do you think we do for a couple rookies?
I think you guys do good. It's amazing. It's a refreshing taste on doing an interview. Sniper and I have been doing these interviews now for 3 months, and it's like usually they ask you the same questions, and it's the same thing, and then they're like, well, that was about 10 minutes in. Thanks for your call, and they move on, and you never hear from them again. So for you guys to talk to us, you can actually get to know us.
Yeah, that was our idea when we set out to do this. We're like, we don't want to be the typical phone-in interview. We want to hang out with the people. We want the people that are listening to them to kind of get to know them, because that's something that's it's really strange that this has happened, but that's been lost. Back in the day, interviews used to last. You used to pick up a copy of Metal Edge magazine, and you'd have an interview with one person that's like 4 pages long, and you really got to know the feel like you kind of knew the person. And you would think that it would be even better than that now with all this social media, but stuff like that's really kind of lost. It's gone.
It's gotten lost, And the one thing, you remember when you were kids, man, staying up Friday nights or Saturday nights, and there's Headbangers Ball coming on, or even before MTV, there was your Friday night. I can't even think of what it's called, Friday Night Lights or whatever it was, where you could see your bands play.
Remember Midnight Special? Was that?
And that's what I'm talking about right there. And you could see these bands and your rock bands play and everything. And especially when Headbangers Ball came out, they were really doing music. And nowadays you turn on MTV and it's about teen pregnancy and this, that, and the other thing. There's no music on there. You might see 3 videos a day.
I really want to ask some little teenager right now, what does the M in MTV stand for? See if they actually know.
What we want to do as music lovers, as musicians, is give it back to you guys right here, where you guys are busting your ass out there, and give you guys an hour and a half to talk about who you are. Or not even just talk about who you are, but just to bullshit with us, and people can see who you are.
And that comes through. It absolutely comes through in the whole thing where it brings us in, and it makes everybody that's listening, they would rather listen to this than a 15-minute the same interview that we've done 100 times,
Yeah, exactly. As a guitar player, who was your influence? And how long did it take you guys to put the album out? And what's your next idea for a gig? And where are you guys going to play? There's more to it than that. It's about the people who make the music, and that's what it's really about. And that's what we want to do right here. And I appreciate your time, and I know you've gone above and beyond because we're probably 30 minutes over our radio time, but this is all recorded and it's going to be on the...
Yeah.
archives right here.
Well,
but I appreciate you guys' time. And we love this. And I could talk all night long with you guys, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we all could.
There was a radio station out of Orlando that had local talk stations, and we I remember, I'm not going to really say that I'm influenced by these guys because I haven't heard them in damn near 15 years.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Monsters. But I'll never forget it. One time they were doing this interview with who was it? It was David Duke, that congressman who was a KKK member.
Yeah.
And he had written a book, and he was doing the rounds with all the radio shows to promote his book. And he, for some reason, they got onto this show, and it started out like your regular interview, and it was kind of nervous because these guys are really outspoken, these guys are nuts. And then all of a sudden, there's the host, and then you have there's the main host, and then there's like the co-host. His name was Dirty Jim, and and he's just like, you know what? I've had it with this crap. He's like, look, are you still a member of the KKK? And he
call him straight out and do the real thing.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh, well, and he got under David Duke's skin, and David Duke started getting, really defensive and everything, and then he got mad. And he's like, well, look, I'm calling your producer. He's like, go ahead and call my producer. I don't give a damn, you little ass munch. and then
well, the thing is, that's what we want to put out there is. That's what we want to be. We want to be real. We want to be real. We want to be with you guys as musicians, and just get the real word out, man. And show the real you, not just that 5-minute excerpt. Oh, okay, well, you're playing at this club tomorrow night. All right, well, we love your music. Oh yeah, 80s, 90s, whatever. I love the hair band. No, but right now you've had an hour and a half, and you just talked, man. You didn't even think you were already. You're on the phone call. And that's what we want. We want you to be on a phone call and just having friends. And I feel like I've known you for 10 years now. We're sitting there laughing and joking and having a good time, and that's what it should be about right there.
Totally. Exactly. And they don't teach that in college,
No, they don't. They don't. And you know what? I hope that we're doing the right thing. I hope we got a direction kicking here. And you know what? I don't care if I ever make money doing this. As long as I keep in touch with the people who are doing things that I love, the music that I love, that's what it's about right there.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
And getting you guys out there and getting you guys a little more. If 10 other people heard about you from around the country tonight, that's what it means to me right there. Next week we've got these young kids. They called us about 3 weeks ago, and they just started a band. And we're going to talk to them every 2-3 weeks for the next year
it's been
and watch them grow.
It's been about a month and a half. We're going to have them back on next week, too. They're not getting the whole hour and a half or anything, but, just give them a little while to kind of touch base with them and see where they're at and kind of watch this band grow.
Give them a little advice on the way and, just see what becomes of it. This is kind of like a reality show with some real kids who want to play some music and see what happens to them.
That's really cool. Yeah, say my one piece of advice is always pull out.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, no, that's true. I gave the best advice.
Trust me, I got 6 kids. I haven't figured that out. I didn't figure it out for a long time.
Two things I learned in life. Always wear sunglasses and always pull out. Always. You can't go wrong.
That is wisdom. You need to write a book. It can be 2 pages right there, but it has to be hardcover right there.
If I wrote a book, I think too many people would sue me. I got too many stories on people. There's just too many stories I can't talk about.
Just change their name. She'll be all right. Change their name. She'll be all right.
I'll call it Tales from Uncle Mo, and it'll be like the greatest bestseller ever. But no.
Well, that's like me. As a bartender, This old guy the other day told me, he's like, why don't you have a recorder in your pocket? He's like, you can write a book and you can sell 10 million copies of it in like 2 weeks. Stories from the bar. I'm like, yeah, you don't believe what I've heard back here. But I don't think I could publish it.
Dear Pet House
yes,
Forum.
you could. You can publish
You're like,
it.
I've already written a letter. I don't want to be called a liar. Dear Pet House Forum.
There was 3 cheerleaders, and I was walking down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never walking down the same road I was.
This never happens to me, but, like that's what I never thought this would happen to me.
As I was walking down the road, scratching my nuts, 3 cheerleaders appeared out of nowhere. And yeah, okay.
It's always awesome when that happens. Yeah, that's the best.
It's pretty cool, man. It happened to me. It's going to be on A&E, after the Bigfoot TV show. Where they found
usually what happens is Keith Hansen walks in and says, Junior, you're on America's Predator. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And you're looking for to run out the door, the cops attack you on the way out. That's usually what happens with me, but,
leave the 12-year-olds alone, man. Go for the 14-year-olds. Oh, they're actually looking for company.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's horrible. They really. Oh, that was. Oh, wow. Thank you. I deserved that on that one. I did. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm about to post. I'm about to post a link on that Facebook page, and it's for a band, or it's for a friend of mine in his book. We had him on a few weeks ago, and the book is called "Your Band is Called What? 101 Band Names I Never Thought I'd Type or Say." And you can get it on Kindle or off of Amazon for like 99 cents. And some of the names that they came up with are, you
guys really need to check this out. It's kind of funny.
These are all real bands too, and our show that we did with him a few weeks ago, at the time was the best one that we've done, but I think this one may have topped it.
I agree. This one will do be above and beyond. But anyway, guys, I want to personally thank you guys for coming on the show. I mean, this has been one of the best shows that we've done so far. We've only been doing this for less than a year now. And you guys definitely have been above and beyond, just great guests here. And we appreciate everything you guys for coming in here, man. And
it was just like I was sitting here having a beer with a couple friends because the time flew by, and it was like we were just talking about shooting the shit about music and guitars and amps and chicks and whatever, old times. It just felt it was fantastic. It's the best interview I've ever had. I think it's just fun.
That's what we want to do, and we're going to do this every week. We're going to do it with other bands. So don't forget us next week. I mean, call in. I mean, interact with the other bands. I mean, just come on back to us, and we'll bring you guys back on next time you have a big gig coming on. Give us a call, and we'll throw you back on the air. No problem, man. Cool. I mean, this is what we want to do right here. We want to be the old school MTV of internet radio. We want to play some music. And we want to, just send the word out so people know about Omaha, Nebraska, so people know about Kansas City, Kansas. And, just these bands out here.
And be honest, we also want them to know about the Will and Thunder show.
Oh, absolutely. Look, man. I'd love to be out there doing this on a national stage right here. But I'm happy doing what I'm doing right now because this is what I love here. I love music, and I love good musicians, and I love people who have an idea about music. And you take a couple people out there who are, just signed, or people who've been signed for 10 years. I've got a good friend of mine that's here in Jackson, Tennessee, that plays with a band that's signed, that is struggling right now, that's thinking about bartending till his next record hits off.
Wow.
Yeah, and that really sucks. It's not,
But you know what the thing is? he's still playing, and he's still living the life. He's still a part of it. It's a big band too, man. I mean, it's a band that's had 3 albums out.
You know, it's funny you say it because I got a kind of a personal. I don't know how to say it. Me and Joey Allen kind of exchange emails from Warrant every now and then to a friend of mine.
Yeah. What?
Joey Allen, I was in Iraq, and a friend of mine lost his leg in an IAD experience when I was, and so a friend of mine, Big Jim Miller, was a command sergeant major of the 82nd of 505. So he came up last year in June, and when we were opening for Warrant, and I kind of got like a corresponding thing with Joey Allen from Warrant. And, you know, he works a regular job and just travels on the weekend and plays because he can't afford to just not work.
Right.
And so he's like a sales representative for Pearl Drums, maybe. It's a drum. I mean, it's something you wouldn't think he'd do, but he does it like Monday to Thursday, and he travels on Friday and Saturday and plays and comes home Sunday and has a family and everything, and that's what he does. And he says he plays like 50 weeks a year on the weekends, and then he works as the sales distributor, salesman guy for Pearl Drums in California somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
the only reason he does it is because he misses the life. You know, he misses the life.
And people don't realize very few musicians live the life like you think they do. They might have a couple good years, but I mean, my uncle is the exception. I mean, is one of the exceptions right there. He started in the 70s and played with a big band, but he has a master's in music, so he teaches music and did a lot for companies out in California, writing like for commercials and stuff. Yeah. Do you think that when my uncle, he played with a band in the 60s at Woodstock? Wow. And do you think at that time that he thought he would be writing commercials 20 years later?
No.
He exactly. He went from playing with a band, which I don't know if you guys are a little younger than I am, but a band called Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
He went from playing Blood, Sweat, and Tears to writing commercials for Mattel, and he came up with the 80s, 90s slogan of Barbie, we girls can do anything. And he wrote that, which paid his bills, but do you think he'd want to do that instead of being out there on the stage and playing with Blood, Sweat, and Tears? I mean, it's not as easy as a lot of people think right there, and it's beautiful when you do have those moments. And you know what? Take those moments when you're playing in the clubs in front of 50 people who love you. That's a moment right there.
You guys open for Warrant, you said, right?
Yeah. Actually, it got swapped because it was a really weird cold night in June, and it was like in the 40s. So they said, we're going on first, and they went on before us and played, and then they got on the bus and left, and then we played after them. And so it was really cold, and it was a bike rally. I don't know how many people you think were there, Spade. I don't remember anymore. It seemed like there were a lot. 300? I thought it was more than that, but man, it doesn't matter. The two guys that I brought up from the Army, we got them up on stage to play cowbell on the song, and the place, the electricity, everything went crazy, and it was a really good night. But it was a really weird
what it's about.
Vibe. Yeah,
that's what it's about right there. Especially when you be the Army, and as I said once again, I applaud you for your service, and I applaud them for their service because of people like you and them. I have the right to sit here right now and say that I love the music I love. I love the freedom of being able to sit here in my garage at 11, 12 o'clock at night and say, this is how I feel.
Right. Hey, but I just brought up Warrant again because, like, you guys opened for Warrant. I'm assuming it was post Jenny Lane, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, back in 2004, I opened for Janie Lane and Kevin DeBro in a band that I was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Nice.
And, which is kind of, I got to meet and hang out with Janie Lane. Now, the cool thing about that was, we were in '80s metal tribute band. I mean, we didn't go all out with the hair and the makeup and everything. And I'd cut my hair by that time, so I was a short-haired singer. But
now I'm going to tell you guys right now, real quick. Do you guys know the band Disturbed?
Yeah. I know the music. I don't.
You know their guitar player? Do you know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Is that Don Donegan?
Yes. That's what Will looks like.
You're muscular and tough-looking and scary?
Yeah, I mean, almost exactly. He's got the goatee, almost the same hair. Look, I've known this guy for almost my whole life. We met when we were 4 years old, and we're in our 40s right now. Looks just almost exactly like this guy. When I saw Disturbed the first time, I heard them, and I loved them. It's one of the bands that I do respect from this genre, is Disturbed. But, yeah, Will kind of looks like him.
Well, I used to have hair down to my belt line, but
so did I. Thanks for just bring that up. You know, my bald head.
Because I cut it in 2001 because I was actually working. I actually worked with people that didn't even know I had long hair. I was just like, you know what, maybe it's time for it to go. But anyway, I opened for. We did the hair band tribute band. The name of the band was called Headbangers Ball, ironically enough. And I only did 2 shows with them. I was singing karaoke, and at this bar where the guitar player ran the show, and he was one of these people, this guitar god, this local guitar god, regardless of what band that he was going to end, the bar's going to get packed out just because he's in the band, Well, he told me about this project when he asked me to come down and audition, so I did, and I got in, and one of the songs that we did was, this was around 2004. Do you remember that song by that British hair band called The Darkness? That I Believe in the
Thing Called Love, that one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We did that song, and I used to be able to hit those notes. But Janie Lane was in the club when we played. We didn't know this, but we did that song, and after we played, Janie Lane was hanging out outside. We walked up to him and everything, and he, we're sitting there, just shooting the shit with him, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, man, I ain't heard a local guy scream like that in a long time, man. Hell of a job.
Wow.
I was like, you heard that? He's like, yeah. He's like, all the songs that you did were great. We did "Don't Treat Me Bad" by Firehouse, and I was able to do that. He's like, but what impressed me the most was The Darkness. He's like, I never thought I'd heard anybody do that song. And then,
that's huge coming from him.
Yeah, I mean, make you feel that's like someone. Yeah, I mean that's huge.
Yeah, and I loved it, but the creepy thing, there's something creepy about that. Is on the same night I opened for Kevin DuBrow, Quiet Riot, and Janie Lane. They're both dead.
You're next, buddy. Will.
Yeah.
You have all the contact information for these guys?
I got Spade's information. And I got
Spade. If it's all right with you, I'll have Will send me that information, that way I can pass it on to this club I'm telling you about.
Yeah, sure, and I'll send him our press kit, our electronic press kit too, so that way it's pretty easy for you.
All right, man. Well, look, man, I can't believe that it's been almost an hour past our show time, really. And look, man, I'll stay on for another hour right here. I love you guys to death, man.
We can't. It will cut us. It'll cut the. It's recording right now. It'll cut the recording off in about 10 minutes or so.
Well, I want you guys to know that you guys are welcome on the show anytime. Give us a call back, and please listen to the show.
Absolutely.
I'm totally gonna.
You guys have been awesome, man.
Well, we're definitely going to play the other song that I have here.
Okay.
We're gonna,
absolutely.
It's Bleed Betty.
Let's go ahead and play that now. That way we can say goodbye before the end of the hour.
Yeah, before it cuts us off. we're going to go ahead and play that, and we'll be right back with the Will and Thunder Show. Of course, there's nobody listening but us, but they'll listen to the They'll listen later. All right. You know what? I haven't done this yet. I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a jackass for that stupid comment. Okay.
Another song from 3D in Your Face. What's the name of the song? Come on, Will.
No, it's just I did the jackass, and then you're like, that was another song from. This song's called "Bleed, Betty, Bleed." We'll be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bleed, oh Betty, bleed.
Okay, that was Bleed Betty Bleed with by 3D in Your Face. Had a little bit of a hiccup there with the studio. Another one of those great, loving, little, awesome Spinal Tap moments. Is everybody here?
Everybody here right here. Well, guys, man, another great song from you guys right there, man. Man, God love you guys, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Spade deserves all the credit for that one. He wrote that one all by his lonesome. That's all him.
Well, who did the keyboard?
That's your little baby right there.
Yeah. The singer did the keyboards. Alan.
Okay.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
All right, so the names of the band, we got Spade, we got Hot Rod. What's your drummer's name? Sniper, and your drummer is?
He's
Playboy.
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 Oh, you got to put the in there. The Playboy. He gets mad when they don't put the the in there.
The Playboy. Okay, all right, well, understood.
So
right,
if I was talking to him, if I was going to come up behind him at a bar or whatever, I couldn't just say Playboy. It would have to be, what's up, the Playboy?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
He'd run and hide
Grammatically
from
correct.
you, first of all. Yeah, he'd run and hide from you, but he'd be like, I'm the Playboy. That's what he said. He'd be like, hey, Playboy. He's like, I'm the Playboy.
No. There you go. Well, that's like me. I am. The last couple bands I've been in with Mr. Will here. Will's 6'3". Is that about right? No. 6'4". Our guitar player was 6'1". Our drummer, well, you can't tell, but I'm 5'6". And I play the bass guitar. So I look like a fucking midget out there, right? Well, my drummer gave me the coolest name ever. It's better than The Playboy. I am the one and only Thunder Midget.
Thunder Midget. That's a great one.
That's where Kevin Thunder came from.
If you do it right, that could be your porn name and your stage name all at the same time. You see how that
No,
works?
my porn name's even better. I'm going to wear feathers, like a big old feather hat right there, you know, the Indian thing, and I'm going to be Little Bighorn. That's my porn name right there.
That's awesome.
But as a bass player, I'm the Thunder Midget. Look, I planned that out for years, and it finally came true. I could use it. That was awesome. But I'm the Thunder Midget, man. TM. That's what everybody calls me, man. And if I don't make it in the radio, I'm going to join midget wrestling as a giant. I'll be the Little Big Show.
That's awesome.
You know what? I've planned this out. Look, man, I've got this whole thing figured out. I'll wear the black unitard and everything, knee pads, and just beat the ass of midgets. It'll be so much fun until I get my ass beat from a midget, and then I'll have to go in hiding for a while.
Yeah.
You
got to do a wrestling mask, though. You know? Wrestling mask, always in style. Always. So.
True.
You know? If things don't work out here, I'm just going to move up to Nebraska, and I'll be part of your stage show right there. You'll be like, the Thunder Midget, the Little Big Show. That's it right there.
You could be like
awesome.
You could be like those little midgets that Kid Rock has running around. Except
no, that was Joe C. That was Joe C. And he had a disease. Don't talk about him. He died. All right.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you, man.
But. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. Had a blast. Love this show. And,
I'm going to say right now, I think this right here is one of the best, if not the best show we've ever done right here. And thank you guys for being a part of this.
The longest show.
I want to thank you for having us both on. I had a blast. It was the fastest 2 hours I've ever spent on the phone. So, like I said, it was just like I was sitting in your backyard having a beer with you guys, shooting the shit. And you guys it made it so effortless and fun. I just had a blast when we talked about everything. It was just great, and thanks for having us on.
Well, all right. Well, spread the word, man.
We'll definitely have you on again at some point.
Yeah, thank you guys definitely for keeping rock and roll alive here and doing what you love. It shows in your work and your performance. It's an honor to be on your show.
You know what, man, guys?
All mine. I tell you what.
Go ahead.
You know what? While we're giving thanks out, Skid from Sleaze Rocks. I don't know if he's listening or not. I sent him a message telling him about the show that I was going to have you guys on. But it's an honor for me to write for him. I mean, that particular website is huge. I mean, getting to write for that website's not that's no joke right there. All the big people in the business, like Eddie Trunk, and as well as like big names like Dave Mustaine, Michael Sweet, the Blabbermouth website, all these people, and everything follow Sleaze Rocks on Twitter. So I mean, it's if it wasn't for me writing for Sleaze Rocks, I wouldn't have been gotten to do that review. So
and we couldn't do this right now. And you know what?
Thanks, kid.
And Will, I want to thank you, man, for doing what you do, buddy. You know what? You do the groundwork for most of this, and I just do little vocals, on the end of it. And it's nice to meet people like you guys who love music as much as we do. And I just love getting it out there, man. That's the biggest thing to me right there. Get some real music back out there again, man. And you guys are a big part of that right there. And thank you for being on our show, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thanks for having us again. It was actually our treat. It was a blast.
Agreed.
It really was.
All right, well, thanks again, and we'll see you guys back. We'll see everybody back here again next week at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Will and Thunder Show. Thanks a lot, guys, and y'all have a good one.
Thank you.